Well, hello once again tonight, boys and girls. It's not a real cold night down here in Alabama, but it's cool. It started raining out there, and the wind's blowing a little bit. It's kind of a haunted feeling night to me for some reason tonight, and it's about 10 minutes after midnight, so I guess that's the witching hour, and I guess that's when the spirits get out and roam around some. I just sort of feel like there's one in here tonight. Every once in a while, I seem like I get a cold breeze blow across me, and if I shake or jerk or something, you'll kind of know what it is. But what I want to tell you tonight is a ghost story that a friend of mine told me a while back. Was in the post office one day when she told me this. Her name's Sharon, or that's what we'll call her. We'll call her Sharon. She told us about her brother. Her brother was a young man, and he was looking for a job. He was in the Montgomery, Alabama area. So he got a job at Huntington College down there, kind of as a maintenance or custodian or whatever it's called now. I'm not sure, but anyway, cut grass and trim hedges and keep stuff painted and light bulbs changed, all that type of stuff. But anyway, I'm going to tell you about a ghost that he encountered down there late one afternoon around dark. But first of all, Huntington College is a very haunted college. They say they have several ghosts down there. The most famous ghost at Huntington College, and you may have heard of her, is the Red Lady, or Lady in Red, or I believe she's called the Red Lady down there. And I'm going to tell you that story before we get any further into telling what happened to him. These two hauntings or ghostly encounters could be related. Anyway, you tell me what you think when you hear the story.
And now, from the tail end of the Appalachian mountain chain in the heart of the South, this is Alabama Adventures.
Okay, now I want to show you a picture of a Huntington College. It's a very old college down there. It's built in the Gothic Revival, I believe, style is what the entire campus is built in down there. And that kind of gives you a haunted, eerie feeling when you see this old building here. But anyway, what happened? This lady in red, or the Red Lady, I'm not exactly sure what she's called down there. But anyway, what it was, she was a girl from up north. She was a Yankee, and her she lived in upper state New York, was where her family lived, and she'd lived there all her life with them. And they were a pretty wealthy family, or so it was said. But anyway, her father was from Alabama. He was from down this way, and his mother had actually graduated at Huntington or nearby college. I'm not exactly sure what college that this man's mother had graduated from, and he just wouldn't have anything, wouldn't see it any other way. But his daughter had to come back to Alabama to Huntington College and get her education down here. Now she had finished high school. She had attended a finishing school up there, which was a school for ladies back in the 18 and 1900s or so, I've been told. But anyway, she had done that. She had done a lot of traveling. She had traveled all over the world. And anyway, whenever she came down here, she was just a little bit different, of course, than the young girls from the South back then. She was not a Southern belle at all. She was a Yankee with a very pronounced, very deep Yankee accent. She was a very pretty girl, or so it said, and but she was a real shy girl. It was hard for her to make friends, and I guess that kind of leads to the story tonight. It's kind of a sad story. Anyway, about this girl, she did not want to come down here to Alabama to go to college. She wanted to attend college up there somewhere so she could be at home. She did not want to come down here at all because she was different. The people down here were different, and as I said, she was just shy, and it was hard for her to make friends. But anyway, she did come on down, and her father just insisted and pretty much made her go down here. And anyway, she came down, and she brought her stuff with her, as all girls do when they go to college, to decorate her room or to furnish her room, whatever you want to call it. But the thing about her that was kind of unusual and was kind of odd is she really liked the color red. She had a lot of red stuff in her room. She had a big red carpet that she put down. She had a red bedspread on the bed. Her curtains were red. And in her travels over the world, she had picked up many paintings and figurines and that type of stuff that were red. So that's what she decorated her room with, was all these red objects. And she wore red a lot, or so it said. And the other girls kind of thought this was a little odd, a little creepy, or whatever, that she was so obsessed, I guess you would say, with the color red. Now, anyway, I don't know how things are run in college today, but in those days they had a house mother that kind of took care of and watched over all the all the girl students there. That was the only type of person that could go to Huntington College at this particular time were female students. So anyway, they had a house mother in there that kind of kept a watch on everybody, and of course she assigned a roommate to this girl in room, and they lived together for a few days. But this other girl, she was from the South, and they just couldn't get along. But not that they couldn't get along very well, they just weren't happy together, I guess would be the best way to put it. And I got an itch. Let me catch it right quick. But anyway, this girl asked if she could have another roommate and move out, and she did. And of course, the room mother put someone else in the room, and they couldn't hit things off exactly either. They weren't happy together, and this girl moved out after about a week or so. And this happened several times with other roommates that was assigned to live with this girl. Martha was her name, was the Yankee girl's name. The lady in red, or the red lady, was named Martha. And so that way it'll make it a little bit easier for me to tell as we go through this story. But anyway, over a period of time, as I said, several girls were in and out. And there for a while, the house mother, I believe is what she was called, or the dorm mother, whatever it was, decided to put the president of the students in the room with her, ask her would she try to live with her a while. And of course she said she would. She said, she might be an interesting person if she could get to know her, because she had traveled all over the world, and she was sure that she had a lot of stories and things that she could tell her, and she could probably learn a lot from her in there. So that's what they did. But this was just like all the rest of them. They stayed together for a week or so, and they just weren't happy together. So this other girl, the president of the student body down there, got her stuff together and was moving out. And as she was going out the door, Martha come walking in the door that afternoon, and they talked a minute, and she said, "You're just like everybody else. You think I'm stuck up, that I don't want to be friends, and you're moving out just like everybody else did." But said, "I am not that way." He said, "It just takes me a while to get to know people." But said, anyway, said, "If you leave me," said, "you will always remember this day. For rest of your life, you will remember leaving me." And that's exactly what happened. Anyway, sometimes Martha could be heard late at night, like around right now, the witching hour or the midnight hour. She could be heard walking up and down the hallway, very, very lonesome, very sad, very homesick. And sometimes other girls would be in their room, and they would be talking and laughing and doing whatever they were doing in there. And Martha would open the door real easy to peep in at them to see if maybe she could go in and talk with them and become friends or whatever. But it just didn't work out that way. Then she would close the door and walk off, and then she could hear them laughing, most likely laughing at her, because she was different. But anyway, this went on for a while, and then one day Martha didn't show up for class, and she didn't show up for the meals down there. So the house mother, or dorm mother, whatever she was called, got worried about her late that afternoon, and she went to her room, which was on the fourth floor of Pratt Hall. And I've never been down there, but this is where it's supposed to happen. I couldn't tell you what this particular floor or this particular room looks like, because I've never been there. I'm just telling what I have heard about the red lady at Huntington College. Anyway, as she walked down the hall toward her room, she saw a red glow light coming out from under the door. And just like you had a very bright light behind the door, and it was red coming out from under it, and the door had a transom on the top of it, and this same red light was coming out of the transom. So the lady goes up and she knocks on the door. She doesn't get an answer, so she checks the doorknob and it's unlocked, and she opens the door slightly, and she is terrified at what she sees. She faints in the floor and yells real loud, and some of the other students come running to see what's wrong with her. And Martha is laying on the floor dead. She's laying on the red carpet. She has the red bedspread wrapped around her, and next to her is a red parasol. And she's laying there dead in the floor. She has cut her wrist very deeply, and she has bled to death there either that night before or sometime that day. And that's how the place become haunted down there. Ever since that day, Martha has still been heard at night walking down the hall. Sometimes in this particular room, she can be heard crying, as I'm sure she was since she was so lonely and didn't have any friends down there. I'm sure she sat in there a lot of nights, very very sad, and that's how the Red Lady become a ghost, a haunting at Huntington College. Okay, now here's a ghostly encounter that Sharon told me that her brother, I'll call him Robert, a ghost that he encountered at Huntington College one afternoon down there, late one afternoon. Anyway, what it was, as I said earlier, Robert went to work down there and he was doing maintenance, cutting grass, trimming hedges, just whatever needed to be done. That was his job, and that's what he had been doing on this particular summer day. It was very hot down there that day. Anyway, while he worked there, Huntington College furnished him a room there to. Now I'm not sure if he was a student there or not, because now both men and women can attend Huntington College. And I'm not sure if he was a student there, just needed a summer job there to make a little extra money while he was going to college or what. But anyway, the college did furnish him a room because he did maintenance down there. So anyway, that's what he'd been doing, was cutting grass, and first one thing another that day. And as I said, it was real hot, and he came into his room and turned the air conditioner on or turned the thermostat down, whatever it was, to sort of cool off in there because he was real sweaty. And he had something that he was going to do later on that night, so he was going to take a bath, change clothes, and this kind of stuff before he did it. And that's what he was doing. He came in, he sat down on the edge of the bed and started taking his shoes off. Well, he took his shirt off and tossed it across the chair over there, and had on a t-shirt and his short pants, and he was taking off his tennis shoes and socks so he could take a shower. And when he got his second shoe off and put it over there next to the other one under a chair, something he heard, and he had heard somebody come slowly walking down the hallway. He could hear footsteps out there in the hall, and he just really didn't pay that much attention to them. They either went on by or they stopped at his door. He didn't know exactly where. He just, as I said, he really didn't pay too much attention to the footsteps, thinking it was some of the other students or somebody out there just walking down the hall. But as he sat there on the bed, his door slowly opened, and he just sort of kept sitting there watching to see if it was somebody fixing to come in or what. And nobody came in. There was nobody in the doorway, but the door came open all the way. And as he was sitting there on the bed, something sat down on the bed beside him. It was not somebody. He couldn't see anybody, but he felt somebody when they sat down on the side of the bed. And if you have sat on a bed like that and then got up, you'll see to where the cover there on the mattress leaves the print of your hips. And I would say the print of your butt, but I'll keep it print of your hips. And as he was sitting there, the print of someone's hips formed on the bed next to him. And whenever this happened, he got up and got out of the room and went to tell some of his friends or to be with them. I don't think he told anybody down there because he didn't want anybody to think that he had seen a ghost. But he got out of the room thinking that it was a ghost. Now, was this possibly the Red Lady down there? Was she had she seen him there and was attracted to him or something, and thought maybe she could come in and talk to him and maybe they could strike up a friendship? It's just a very sad story about the lady in red to me down there. But anyway, he didn't stick around to see what was going to happen or if anything was said or if anything was knocked off the wall or anything moved. When he saw this print of someone's hips and legs formed beside him on the bed there, he got out of the room. Anyway, that was just a little story that I wanted to share with you about Huntington College and the Red Lady and the ghost that Robert encountered down there that afternoon. All right, I'm going to bring the video to a close. This is one of those nights that I want to get into bed and pull the cover up over my head. For some reason, I keep feeling like I can feel something in here. Maybe it's that rain and the cool weather and the wind is blowing a little bit. You can hear it sort of whistle around the house every once in a while. And I've got a big magnolia tree out in the yard, and it shakes those leaves every once in a while. And I hope no, I got a cat out there, and I hope nobody don't come step on his tail and make him scream, because then I would know something was here. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this Alabama adventure of talking about Huntington College in Montgomery, Alabama. Anyway, as always, Alabama Bigfoot Society is run completely out of pocket. And if you would like to make a donation and you're in a position where you can, all you got to do is go to the website, and right there on the front page you'll see a place to where you can where you can make that donation. If you like this video, give us a like. If you like what we're doing down here with our investigations and our stories, hope you'll subscribe to the channel. And as Hank Williams used to say, good Lord willing and the creeks don't rise, I guess I'll see you on down the trail.